right, this is awesome. We're looking for Joseph right now. We're at a place called Willow Pond, and we are gonna go hunting for crayfish, which is awesome. We are building a pond for him right now to train his mink. I wanna see exactly how his mink would normally hunt, so we're gonna actually see his animals in action and how we could assist with that. All right, Joseph, what are you thinking? Is it gonna fulfill your needs?
Oh, yes. Oh, we got it. We got it.
Nice.
Woo!
Whoa.
You did it. Good girl.
What do you think, Olive?
This might be good.
Yeah.
We got it. We got it.
Nice.
Woo!
Whoa.
You did it.
Strong.
You're so big. Look at you. Mila, come on. Good girl. There you go. Now you're looking for stuff. Good girl. Woohoo. Did you realize how deep you were and got scared? You're just shy. There you go. Good girl.
So the muskrat replication habitat is just about done. Remember what we did yesterday. We have our 4-inch pipe that we laid behind everything. Today what we did, we came up above, we did our riser pipe. Then we have that piece that's gonna go over into the muskrat den. This little area here is just an access clean out point for inspection. We also have, you see this 3/4 inch pipe that we put in. That 3/4 inch pipe, we're taking a portion of the water from our pump, and that's going to push water inside of here. We're a little bit concerned about stagnation, sedimentation, food debris, stuff getting built up inside of there. So by having a little blast of water going in there, it's gonna be flushing all that material out. The tricky part for us from an aesthetic standpoint is we're gonna have to hide all this up, make it really mink proof. This is the other section. We're gonna have multiple exits, and now we're coming in. We got Ralph strapping up the rock, and we're gonna start keep doing our stonework along the bottom, working our way to the top. We are starting to wash everything down. We still have a lot of work obviously to do over here in the intake bay as well as the waterfall, but we want to try to get everything happening down here in the bottom because we want to try to clean it up as much as we can. Steven right now starting to trim up some of the heavy duty fabric around the perimeter, and Ralph on the other end is starting to do some of the edge work as well. Now one of the things that's kind of unique with this particular project, normally doing lots of plant pockets and things like that, building in some big soil areas for different types of plantings, but in this particular application we're not going to be doing that, and that's because the mink are going to be roaming through this entire area. We don't want any soil because what they do is they're going to go swimming, they're going to get out of the water, they're going to roll around in the dirt, and they're going to go back in the pond. So they'll just make a mess of everything. Just do a lot of river stone over everything and crushed rock. This feature will be a decorative feature, but the number one thing is to replicate the natural rivers and creeks here of Utah. Big mixture of different types of habitats here, so he could work with different levels of training for his animals. Next step right now, working on this little muskrat den, which is a really cool little component. Joseph ran out, got a bucket. It's got a nice screw top. This is going to be buried in. You see this hole right here. It's going to go over that pipe. Typically have multiple entry points, so we have a couple down tucked in between all those boulders. The mink will be able to swim up through all of this, find this little den area. Now, we don't like the look of any of this stuff. If you follow us, we like to make things that look pretty, so we make some incredible filter systems, but I don't want to see them. I just want them to function properly. We have a fake faux stump log that's going to cover everything up. That's going to allow Joseph total access to everything. Everything's really coming together. Loving the way everything is looking here. Down here in the Utah area, just an incredible diversity of granite and quartzites. So we're going to offload what we need, finish working around the perimeter, and work our way to the top. So what we're doing is we're trying to get ready for the finish day today. So we're wrapping up all those little details. Pumps in, we got to get the dosing system in place. We want to make sure that we have the proper dosage of beneficial bacteria and enzymes to give us the desired water quality. We're also going to try to get an ion gen system in here to help alleviate and control some of the algal growth here. Right now, AJ and I are going to get ready to install the biofall. So let's go over there, take a look and see what we need to do with that piece so we can start finishing up the waterfall and the rest of the berm. You can see we set this big boulder out in front. It's got this big high part, kind of dips down. It's got a nice little flat ledge over here. That's going to be, that water is going to be coming off of that edge. So I want to show you a little bit of a tip here. Installation standpoint, we didn't set that rock right up against the unit itself. Give it a little bit of flexibility. We want to set the rocks where the rocks look good, and we want to make our job easier. So by pulling that off of there about 2 feet or so, that allows us to come in here after the fact. We can make that watertight seal there, and then we'll do another small little waterfall back right up against the filter itself. So it's just an easy way to do this. What do you think, Olive?
This might be good.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, this is the moment we've been waiting for. What we built this for is actually the mink, as well as for Olive, their daughters. Creating an interactive feature for the animals, for the children, for the entire family to work with. The training that they're gonna do here is gonna be incredible. Water is amazing. Water is the source of all life. Everything comes to those perimeters of our lakes, rivers, and streams. And that's why these guys have adapted exactly for that situation. Looking for frogs, small fish, crayfish, snakes, rodents, you name it, they have adapted perfectly to it. And that's exactly what this is all about. So he's going to be able to use it for training. It's been an incredible build. Love working with their family. And now let's get ready to turn this guy on. So I loved everything, the way everything turned out here. Did transition between the boulders, the big river rock, back over into the crushed material. This is going to create a barrier, so they're not going to dig burrows. So this is going to be a really nice, safe enclosure for them. We've also taken our time. If you look around at the perimeter, all those rocks, you're not going to see any cracks or crevices or large cavities because we wanted to keep the mink from kind of working their way behind some of those boulders. They make their den above water line, but they have underwater entry points. So we have a couple underwater entry points in 2 different locations. The mink will be able to go in there and he'll be able to put some bait and stuff like that inside of that little enclosure, that little den area, for them to work their way and actually find it and seek it out. I also love the way that our waterfall turned out. I mean, check it all out. The biofalls is really nicely hidden. We utilize a bunch of logs that they went and found. And that's exactly what's going to be found in the river systems around here. You get down trees, you're going to get logs and stuff like that end up getting washed into the rivers. They kind of get wedged in between stuff, and that's exactly how we tried to create this stuff. So the other nice thing about using a wood element inside of here, different strains of bacteria are going to be found on wood versus on rock versus sand versus soil. And when we talk about an ecosystem pond, having a diversity of materials is actually very, very beneficial. And that's exactly what we set up there. All right,
Hey.
Joseph is getting ready to turn it on. Olive, do you want to help? Oh, look at that. Just exactly the way we designed it. Water's flowing over that log and it's going to split around that rock. I love the sound so far. All right, Joseph, what are you thinking?
Pretty cool.
Is it going to fulfill your needs?
Oh, yes. Swimming is just terrifying to him because he's a baby. With having all these different water levels, we could take a mink in, for example, right here, we could drop this down, like you're saying, to wading level. So the mink could wade in this, put a couple little fish in here, and the baby mink can practice at very, very basic levels, catching stuff. And then once he feels confident enough, he'll, on his own, eventually start venturing into the deep water. And then the cool thing is with these pools, so we can essentially have 3 different training levels. We've got that level is the super basic level. Up here will be the medium level, but it's still a lot easier than this will be the pro level, where they'll be diving all the way down and searching the bottom for fish.
And going through the tunnels.
We've got the cool little tunnel systems, we got the logs and the places that they've got to search out and find the fish. So I mean, so much better than the artificial things we've been doing for years, where we've got fish tank or a cattle oil trough, and it's just not natural at all. This will make it so that when we take them into a realistic situation, they're like, oh yeah, that's a lot like home. You get them out in a pond that they're not accustomed to it, they don't know where to look. Their instincts help them a lot, to be honest. The instincts say, hey, look in crevices, look here, but there is an experience factor as well that this will be great because they'll have both the instincts and the experience working for them. So if
look at the flow. Wow.
If I need to reach in here,
It's working perfect.
and check out what's going on, you go this way. We've got the actual muskrat den. Right now it's filled with gravel and there's no bottom to the bucket. So any water that's going to be coming in here on a regular basis from the mink in their fur is going to be able to just seep out. And so we've got lots of options there for drainage and putting bedding on top of it. If I don't want them to access this for whatever reason, I'm going to get a little post and we'll just put it down there as a stopper, and they can still swim through and utilize hype just for exploration and fun and chasing fish, but they won't have access to this little artificial muskrat den if I don't want them to. Which really, having options and having control with animals, especially mink, is key.
And this is strong enough. You don't have to worry about that. That'll take a beating. Yep.
Oh, good boy. Look at you, Mr. Confident.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Look at you, Mr. Confident.
Did you get up the rocks?
Look at you, Mr. Confident, just swimming.
Oh, well, it's been a blast. I appreciate the hospitality. You've been great learning and listening to everything that you've done here. Can't wait to see the training and the videos and everything that you're producing here. I mean, that's why we do what we do.
I'm excited.
And that is going to be a wrap for us. I think we got to hit the road.
All right.